Good. It's football season, right? That's the great thing about it. It's on us. Thank goodness. Holy cow, we're ready. First, I want to thank you all for coming out today and coming out and being a part of this event. I know they hadn't had one of these in quite some time, and was something I wanted to bring back. I thought it was a great opportunity for y'all to get a chance to meet with all our coaches and have a chance to hear from our strength coach, Trumaine Carroll, and the progress that they made this summer. And then obviously hear kind of the state of the by position from me, and then get a chance to visit with our position coaches individually. And so I'm excited about today, and really want to start off by again thanking you all for coming. I know that Razorback fans all across our great state are excited about the start of this season, as the coaches and players are. I really want to commend our players. I think it's very important that these guys understand the appreciation level that we have for them and the hard work and the dedication that they've put forth since the coaching change in December. I know it's been difficult. It's been challenging on them to buy into a new system, new faces, new names, and they have done a remarkable job and never batted an eye in any resistance in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So really want to commend those guys. And when we got the state of the program, I guess it was last Friday, as a staff from True and his staff, it was really impressive as you see the before picture and an after picture and see the percentage of weight lost or gained, body fat gained or lost, and then obviously the strength gains. So, man, we are really excited about the product that Coach True and his staff are handing over to us. I also want to commend Coach Carroll, Trumaine, and his staff, our strength staff, and our nutrition department. They have worked long hours and really put a lot of attention to detail into this, and they have done a fabulous job. And you know, I'm just excited for them. They're able to hand this group over to us, and I know they're really excited about seeing what's going to transition from the work they've been doing in January through our first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and finished up our fourth quarter phase, and now handing them off to us as the season begins. And our report date is Thursday this week. Got a big weigh-in Thursday night. We'll have a lot of fun with it. But we're a better football team right now than we were at any point in time since I've gotten here. And I'm excited from a cultural standpoint, to a strength and conditioning, from a weight standpoint, for where our bodies are. They're in shape, and these guys really are ready to go. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about the fall camp. I know it's you can feel it. You can feel it in the air. You can feel the excitement around the state. Anywhere you go, everybody's ready for football season, and so we are too. You know, I'm ready to hit the ground running. There's a lot of questions that we got to answer through the course of fall camp, and we'll talk a little bit about fall camp and the way we lay and structure our fall camp out. But I want to start off with a few things, some injury updates on by positions. There's 3 young men that will that are going to see some time that'll be missed. That's Ryan Winkle, that's Colton Jackson, and Kevin Richardson. These 3 young men have battling some injuries. Ryan Winkle will be back, a true freshman. Really just got a weight room injury in his shoulder area on his very first day here in a warm-up set. And so went through surgery. He'll be back. Colton Jackson is battling a back issue that has been with him for quite some time. Really flared up on him, I guess, probably 2 weeks ago. We went ahead and chose to do surgery on him. We expect him back. He'll miss a significant amount of time. He'll miss probably the first six games. So we hope to get him back. Hopefully by the 1st of October, we'll see his rehab and progress is coming along well. He's been a part of team functions right now, but unable to work out in any way. Kevin Richardson was informed of this late last night or yesterday afternoon. Was moving, moving into a house, and stepped a certain way, did something, and hurt his foot, and He'll have surgery today to go in and put a screw in his foot. We'll be out 6 weeks. We'll have Kevin back for sure for the start of conference play. But that wasn't a phone call that I wanted to get yesterday afternoon, especially a young man that's worked hard to get to where he is today. But that was unforeseen. So those 3 young men will like I said, will miss some extended amount of time, especially Kevin in fall camp. He won't miss nearly as many games. Like I said, we hope to get him back full speed by the start of conference play, but I anticipate probably getting him back probably by the second game. So we'll go from there. And what I thought I would do is kind of go through by position. We'll kind of go through you've heard from True some gains and from these guys, but I'll just kind of talk to you about the way what we're looking for as we start fall camp. Try to get some answers that we have to be able to figure out during the course of the next 3 weeks of practice. But let's start with our offensive line. Our job is to find the best 5 and then make them fit. And then through fall camp, we've got to try to find the next 5 behind them and try to come out with a quality 2 deep. Now, some of that, as you know, and you've heard me talk about this before, a lot of the 2 deep, there's a lot of moving parts. There were moving parts that had to happen before Colton got injured, with us anticipating Colton being at that left tackle position. But now that he's out, we really have to make sure that we cross-train. And I know that's one thing I know you'll be able to ask Dustin a little bit later, but he does a great job of cross-training these guys. It was something we did during spring ball, which carried over to their summer workouts, or skills and drills, or player-led workouts. So these guys have done a good job of that, and we're really going to have to pick that up coming in. As you are, I was excited to hear the news on Dalton Wagner. We're going to anticipate him helping us out at left tackle, moving him over, starting him out there at the left tackle position during the start of fall camp. Obviously, being able to move guys over. Johnny Gibson's another one that's transformed his body. Played some left tackle last year. There'll be some moving parts there. We really need Jalen Merrick. It's time. I know he's had a really good, impressive summer. It's really time for Jalen to really take that next step. When he does, he allows us to have some depth there and be able to move Johnny around. You'll see Froholt. Yeldo will play. Obviously, we've got him at guard, but you'll see him. We transitioned him some to center during the course of spring ball, so you'll see him back and forth. You'll see him probably getting some reps early in camp at center, and but starting out at guard. So we're excited about that. We moved Dion Malone over after the course of spring, went through our depth chart on the defensive line, and just felt like at this point that Dion could benefit this football team. He played offensive line in high school. He could benefit this football team and get significant reps if he would take this move and be willing to make the move into the offensive line. He was very receptive to it, excited about the move. He knew that he just wants to play. And all indications, he's had a really good summer. I know he has in the weight room and transitioning, learning the offense, learning our schemes. He's done a good job. I think Yelda's done a fabulous job of taking all those guys underneath his wing and really bringing them along. So Brian Wallace, B-Wall, right tackle. We're going to leave him there. We fully anticipate he's comfortable there. He's playing with a lot of confidence there. So as it stands today, knock on wood, our plans are just to leave him there. He's in a great comfort zone. He's tremendously changed his body and the confidence level that he has as well. So we're excited about that. Dylan Hayes will start out at center for us. He and Ty Clary. Audrey Horn will be in there as well. But again, as I mentioned earlier, you'll see us make a move with Yelda some at center. We'll be able to move Ty or Dylan around at that guard position. Kirby Adcock, another one at left guard. Again, we believe that he'll be able to play both guards. But again, very athletic, and so and he's added some weight this summer, which is good to see. Shane, Shane played some at that tackle position. We felt like, especially where he was in spring ball, that he was more suited for an inside position. But again, that was just through a quick synopsis of 15 practices and at fall camp or spring ball. So we're going to work Dylan, or actually we'll work Shane back out there at tackle. He's going to have to get some reps there for us to create some depth at that left tackle position. But you'll see Shane inside as well. I really think you're going to see a lot out of this young man. I know he's had a really good summer. So you'll see he could be moving inside as well at that guard position. But our two true freshmen there, you've heard us talk a little bit about them, Noah Gatlin and Silas Robinson. Silas is the leader of that freshman class, has really done a great job with that. We've talked about Ryan Winkle. Don't know, where we are. We'll see where we're at coming out of fall camp. Will one or if not both of those true freshmen help us out this year? I don't know. I do know that the new redshirt rule will allow us an opportunity to see. And so we'll play it by ear, see how those guys come on. But that's a group. We were from a scholarship standpoint, I think coming out of spring, we were down on that number. And moving Dion over allowed us to at least kind of maintain a number in there, get us up to that 14. We want to have 15 on scholarship is what you really want to have coming in. But with this right now, with Dion over, it puts us at 14. Obviously, Colton and Ryan down, and that puts you down to 12 on scholarship. So you got to do some moving around. It's called football. It's called coaching. You embrace those opportunities, man. You can sit there and hold your head down about it, but man, as I shared with Kevin and Colton and Ryan, I said, look, if there was going to be an injury that was going to happen, man, be thankful that it happened right now, not in the middle of the season where you missed the whole second half of the season. So these guys are working hard to get back. I'm excited to see the group that we do have. I'm excited to watch Coach Fry develop these young men. I think that they have responded extremely well. But we'll see. A lot of questions got to be answered right there in that offensive line, and we all understand that. From there, we'll talk about our tight ends. The guys we got coming in here, just some men that really want you to make note of. Obviously, Jeremy Patton, Austin Cantrell's had a really good summer as well. C.J. O'Grady, another one that has transformed his body. Really need him to come on and have a really good fall camp. We're going to strain him really well. We're going to strain him and train him pretty hard this fall camp. He's got to really come on and pull the weight. He's got a lot of talent, as we do in that tight end room, and we're anticipating some great competition there. And I know Coach Craddock will talk a little bit later about some of our 11 and 12 personnel packages. Young man I mentioned at the end of spring ball, but was Grayson Gunner. This is a young man I'm really excited about. Grayson as well. This is a guy that you'll see move around. He's very athletic. He can play multiple positions. So for him to be set and just stationary at that true tight end position, you'll see him move into some of the other positions at that wide receiver slot as well. That bigger bodied, what we call our 5-man, and you'll see him move around and be able to motion back in the backfield. He's got great speed. Exceptional hands. So I really like where we're at with that tight end position. Again, we got some good competition going on right now, and so we'll keep pushing those guys. Coach Lenny will be more in tune to talk more individually about each one of them. The running back position: Devois Whaley, Chase Hayden, T.J. Hammonds, Malik Williams, and Rakeem Boyd. We feel like of all the positions we have offensively, we have probably as much depth at the running back position, which is good to play in this league. These guys understand that they are going to take some hits for us to play as fast as we want to play. There's no way you can put one running back on the field. Any of the great teams I've ever been associated with played 3 and 4, and they played at a very high level and a high number of snaps. So we're anticipating that. I'm excited about where we are and the way these guys have all challenged and pushed each other. They've changed their body. I know True talked about Devois Whaley, Chase Hayden. T.J. Hammonds provides a very multiple type of guy. He's a guy that you can get the ball to in space. You can see us putting him outside and motioning him back in and into that running back position. But he provides a unique skill set. We're going to take advantage of his skill set as well. Very electric and with the ball in space. So excited about to see what our running backs can do. Our wide receivers, I think True hit on a few of them. Jonathan Nance is one in particular that really had a transformation this summer. We really need Jonathan to come on at that 2-man position. behind him, and well, in no particular order really, but you got Jonathan Nance, you got Deion Stewart, Gary Cross, and Gerard Barnes. All these guys there are going to provide some depth. Again, to play at a speed we got to play at, you got to rotate these guys in and out. Our 5-man, you heard me talk a little bit about Grayson Gunner, but Davion Warren, Tyson Morris, Jared Cornelius. Again, you know, Jared is a guy coming off that injury. We're really anticipating seeing a lot of really good things out of him. I know he had a really good summer in skills and drills, player-led workouts. Well, we may have a late addition or two at that wide receiver position to add some depth there. I don't know yet. I'm not at liberty to talk about it yet until we get things kind of finalized. At the 9-man position, our boundary position, the guys that we really got to have come on. I think you saw what LaMichael Petway did during the spring game. I thought he had that was his best day. And, you know, our word to him all summer long has been consistency. We got to see consistency on the field, consistency in the weight room, just consistency all across what you do. So we'll see. He's got to be another one that's going to be strained really hard during fall camp. He's going to get a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of matchups on that side that he's got to win. And that's usually what that 9-man position does. Mike Woods, Jordan Jones, Tobias Enlow will all see rotation there. But one thing that Coach Stepp does is he does do a good job of rotating these guys around. So you'll see not only them at the 9-man position or at the 5-man position, but very few times you see them stationary. He'll force them to cross-train and learn other positions. So just because I said a guy's at a 2-man or a 5-man doesn't mean that they can't be interchangeable. So you'll see a 2-man and a 5-man work together, a 9 and a 5 work together as well. So a quarterback position, I know that's kind of the main one that everybody wants to hear about and talk about, but you know, there's no update outside of the fact that they've all had a really good summer. I think each one of them, I heard True talk, and I think he's dead on, but each one brought their own unique leadership styles and skills that were needed at a time in the summer. You know, one guy may be more impactful than the other guy at a certain day or a certain week, maybe some things that we've gone through, but Ty Story's done a good job getting himself ready to go, coming off of the 15 days of spring ball. Cole Kelly's another one. Dalton Hyatt is a young man that's got all the athleticism. He's got it, and he's one that we've really got to bear down on. And I know Coach Craddock is during our summer meetings have really worked with Dalton to see if we can get. Man, we really need to get something out of him, and so I'm excited about him. He's had a good summer. Obviously, our 2 freshmen, Connor Nolan and John Stephen Jones. These 2 guys that came in the end of May, 1st of June, and they hit the ground running. And they're very knowledgeable. I was able to sit in on several of the meetings through the course of summer and listen to these guys give the feedback of what they knew according to, you know, with the installs that we had going in during the course of summer. And listen to these guys just kind of regurgitate it back to us. It was impressive. Was able to go through and just listen to these guys talk about coverage recognitions and defensive recognition. So very knowledgeable. We knew that. Very well coached in high school, both these young men. So we'll see. We'll see how these guys come out. They'll get plenty of reps. As we start camp on Friday, we'll see how it goes from there. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the competition that we have, not just at the quarterback position, but a lot of our positions. I know Coach Craddock is ready to go. The offensive staff is ready. Defensively, let's start with our D-line. More importantly, we'll break these up with our DNs first, and then we'll move inside. But you know, at our DN positions, this is an area that I feel like coming out of spring ball that we do have some depth. We got some depth in our D-line, and I think just from being a part of you know, where we've been in the past and you know, all the successful teams that we've been a part of, you had to be solid in 2 main areas. One, you had to be solid in the D-line, and you had to be solid in the O-line, but more so, you had to have the depth. The depth in that defensive line is critical. And I feel like that we do have depth. We got to continue to push and strain these guys and create that rotation. We're going to have a heavy rotation of guys as we go in to the season. But Gabe Richardson, you know, we've talked about Sosa. Sosa playing at that DN position and being able in some of Chiefs' defensive fronts, he can stem down and play inside, but he'll start out there at that DN position. Michael Taylor is another young man that's had a good summer. We're excited about getting Dorian Gerald here. I know he'll be coming in the next day or so. Nick Fullwilder, a true freshman, has had a good summer. Again, like all the other freshmen, they kind of drink out of a fire hose sometimes. And there's so much stuff coming at them. So, what we try to do is just not over-indate them, especially in fall camp, and let them come along and see where they are. Again, the redshirt rule will help some of these freshmen. The other defensive end position, Randy Ramsey's another one that's had a remarkable summer. He's got all the talent, he's got all the skill set. He looks apart. I mean, man, when he gets off the bus, he looks apart. And a young man that we really need to have a breakout year. The tools are there. We all know that Chiefs coach some great ones at that position, and he can be another one in that line. I was just excited to see what he's capable of doing. Jamario Bell, a young man that saw flashes, saw some good things out of him in spring ball, but he and Petway are a lot on the same category. That consistency is the key. Where are you? It's time. You've been here long enough. Now let's go. Let's put some work in and let's make some progress. And he's done that. I challenged him, man. I needed you to be consistent in the summer, and he's done that. So again, Porter's another one there at the defensive end position. Another true freshman, Cortrey Alexander. That's coming on. He's figuring it all out. It's going to be a great player for us in due time. I can't wait to see what he does. All these freshmen, when they get a year in their system, what we call our power hour, these guys that maybe are redshirted, they'll spend their time while everybody's in meetings during the course of the season. They'll spend their time in the weight room, and they'll do a power hour with Coach True, and it really just kind of elevates these guys getting ready for next spring. So, but we'll see where they're at. Our inside, again, another group of young men that I feel like that we can have some depth there. Austin Capps, one that did not see him, but the first practice in spring ball. So I'm excited about seeing what he's able to bring. I know Coach Scott's very high on him. Armand Watts is another one that's has a chance to be really good. Again, another one's changed his body. Isaiah Nichols, a true freshman that got here in January. This young man now has done some really good things. I'm really excited about seeing what he can do after coming out of 15 practices in spring ball, been through a summer workouts, and now being able to get into fall camp. He's totally transformed his body. And so a true freshman there that I'm anticipating maybe is probably going to have a chance to help us. Jonathan Marshall, both Marshalls actually, TJ Smith, Briston Guidry, and at that other defensive position right there. Briston's another one's had a really good summer. Same thing, same message. It's time. Let's go. We're not going to sit on idle. I mean, we're going to put it on the floor and let's see if we can go. We're not going to idle around anymore. Let's go with it. And Briston's a young man he's got all the talent and the potential right there. He's got good leadership in front of him. So I'm really excited about Briston. TJ Smith, like I said, we talked about Jonathan Marshall, another great leader for us. So we got depth. That's the one thing that excites me about this. We got to create and we got to find the right combination and the right fit. And I know Coach Caldwell and Coach Scott have are really excited about coming into this year with this group of young men. Let's talk about our linebacker position. I know Coach Chavis will talk and address this a little bit more later. Dre Greenlaw, Scooter Harris are two guys right there, especially Scooter at that Mike linebacker position. A guy that really needed to transform his body. I felt like that at times he was too heavy. To where he needs to play and how he needs to play in this defense, he needed to scale his body back. We needed to try to change his body from body fat composition, and that was a big focus. And we'd love to see him playing right around that 230, 235 mark at the most. So he's done a good job getting there. Dre Greenlaw, a young man that had cleaned his knee up and scoped it early on in May. He's back. He's full speed. He's ready. Feels better than ever. So again, we feel like those two guys right there are very sound. Hayden Henry is another one, very athletic. You'll see Hayden can possibly play some wheel backer at times. Chief does another great job with it, Chief. And when you talk to him, he always talks about being able to cross-train guys. And he always talks about some of the past schools he's been at. Sometimes he only had 3 linebackers. Or 4, and they had to cross train them to get to from the mic or from the wheel to the Sam, and so you'll see that. You'll see Hayden Henry play some of the Sam. Deion Edwards and D Walker. These are 2 guys that really got to come on, and I know Chief will talk about these guys, and he'll tell you straight up, it's his job to get these guys developed and get them ready to play. They got the talent, and we just got to get them pointing in that right direction. And they've had a good summer, so if that's any indication, then we're well on our way. At that nickel position where we had Kevin Richardson, we've got Derek Munson, McClure, Devon McClure, I'm sorry, and Hayden Henry. You'll see Hayden. He's athletic enough to get out there at that nickel position. You'll also could see Joe Fouché some at that nickel. Again, that's just kind of, you see defenses now that are playing more with a nickel than you are a true Sam at times. And so to be able to have a hybrid guy in there is critical for us. So that position, we'll see some rotation early on in camp. But, Alexi Jean Baptiste, it's the same thing with him. As I've shared with several of these other guys, it's time. It's time to figure this out. It's time to take a step in the right direction, and let's be a contributor on this football team. So we're going to challenge these guys. Giovanni LaFrance is another one. Grant Morgan, just a ball player. We're excited to see what he can do at that Mike position. Kyrie Fisher, Bumper Pool, a true freshman. These are some more guys that will kind of see some time at that Mike position, but will also maybe bump into that Will spot at times. So we got some competition there. We'll see how it comes out through fall camp. In the back end, kind of the last thing we'll kind of talk about here on our back end, we've got at our corner positions are Chevin Calloway, Brito Tutt, Ryan Pulley, Nate Dalton, and then our true freshman Ladarius Bishop, and so those guys there, again, a lot of man coverage at times. They're going to be on an island, and so to be able to, I thought Ryan had a really good fall or spring through 15 practices. We'll see how it goes. He had a good summer. So he really needs to be the one that we can kind of put the anchor on right there and hold everything down right there for us. And Nate Dalton, getting the guy back healthy. He had a car wreck early in the summer. I missed a few weeks there, but he's back and he's healthy and ready to go. So again, excited about him. Brito Tutt's another one. They got it. I mean, they got the size, the length. And so we've really got to have those guys come on. We're going to challenge them a lot during fall camp, I'm sorry. The safety positions, Cameron Curl, you heard True mention about Cameron Curl. A guy that played corner last year, moving back to safety, has taken unbelievable ownership in that, has transformed his body when you see before and afters of this guy, and his attention to detail. So expecting him to have a big year. He's an experienced guy. And so, again, we'll see how it comes out of there. The depth back there on the back end, Santos Ramirez, another one of our leaders of our football team, took him to SEC Media Days. He's ready. I mean, this is a guy that every time you walk around this guy, you just feel better about yourself because of the type of person, the personality he brings, the energy he brings, and you just love coaching guys like that. So his leadership is very valuable. When he speaks, people listen. Again, and back there in that back end, also Micah Smith. You'll see Joe Fouché. In our special teams, it's an area we're really addressing. That we've got to get better at. We feel like Blake is time. We'll see where we're at with that. The new kickoff rule is going to be a challenge, and see how people are going to play that. But we've got some competition going at those positions as well. But with that, I know I covered a lot. I know that no one really wanted to talk about the injuries, but I wanted to go ahead and hit it head on and let you kind of know our plan. We have a plan in place, and I'm going to get these guys back. But I've got a lot of things going on right now. So, but these guys are ready to go. So with that, I'll open up for a few questions.
Colton Jackson, I misunderstood. Is he having surgery or didn't require surgery?
No, it did require surgery, and he's already had it. He had it, I guess, 2 weeks ago. So.
And Jared Cornelius, what's your status on him? Will he be full go?
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's had a good summer. Has worked, got himself back healthy, and he's cleared and will be ready to go. And obviously, we'll be smart with it, and go at his pace. If he's feeling any tightness, then we'll back off of it. But right now, he's had a really good summer, and it feels good.
Will Jackson also, is he 100% ready?
No, not yet. He's not. He will start out in camp and be a part of it. Again, we'll bring him into it and see where he's at in his change of directions, and before we really acclimate him all the way in. I anticipate it. We'll see it after about the first 2 or 3 days and see where we're at, and I'll get with Dave Polanski, our trainer, and kind of see what the next step is with him. But we anticipate him back pretty soon, pretty quick.
Two things you mentioned, Dalton Wagner and Johnny, who might run out there with the first group, and also with Kevin Richardson. He didn't play a lot in spring, so I mean, how do you think he's going to be able to come in since it's going to be in season, maybe?
Well, having him come in is not that's not a concern of mine. This is a guy that's just passionate. I mean, it broke my heart when he called. He was upset, man. I was upset. We talked for a good bit, man. I just encouraged him. I said, "Look, guy, you've put your time in. You're due." He's a guy that'll be able to. He's a mature 6-year guy. He understands what it's going to take to get back. So I don't anticipate that being a problem at all. I did not see him in the spring, as you know, but we did watch him through the course of summer workouts, in the weight room, and he's a guy that's going to be okay. I don't have a problem with that. Dalton Wagner, who's going to run out there with the first group? That very first day, I mean, you'll probably wind up seeing Dalton Wagner at a tackle. Froholt at a guard, Hayes at a center, Gibson at a guard, and Wallace at a tackle. That for the first snap. Now the second snap, you may see, Shane may come in there at tackle, then Kirby may go to guard, and Ty goes to center, and Merritt goes to guard, and Wagner moves over to the right tackle. And then the third snap, we may have a whole new. Again, there's not going to be a certain. This is our group. Fry does a great job of putting the puzzle pieces in play, see how they gel, and then just make a move when we need to move. And a lot of it is in the middle of practice, I may call for the sudden change and make for the move. And I want to see how the players are going to respond. So, but yeah, that's usually the way we'll start this thing out.
I might have missed my tight ends. Did you mention O'Grady?
Yes, I talked about CJ. I talked about it's time for him to step up and step forward. And he's got all the talent in the world, and we're expecting some big things out of CJ this year.
How about Jeremy Patton?
Talked about Jeremy. Jeremy is another one that's, this was actually his first full off season he's been through, and to see him transform his body and buy in and know that, look, you only have 4 months left. And so, watching him, he's been attentive and attentive to detail in that weight room. So we'll see. He got a lot of talent, a whole lot of talent, and there's competition behind him. But that is an area that I'm excited. I'm excited about our tight end position.
Where's the kicking game coming out of spring in your eyes, and where does it need to be in competition that's going to go on both punting, kickoffs?
Yeah, right now at that position we've got several guys that are battling. At the kicking position, we've got some guys, some walk-ons that have come in and been a part during summer, and Blake and we just got to be more consistent. I guess that's the biggest thing with our kicking game. We've got to see more consistency. I thought we did some good things. Connor Limpert and those guys, we did some really good things in spring, but we weren't as consistent as I wanted to be. And it showed up. We had an awful day in the spring game, but so we'll see. We've challenged them. We've got some competition going on right there, and what I want is some some unit, some battalion of our kicking game to really rise. And 1, 2, 3 areas of that rise, and let's be one of the best in the country at it. What we can't have is all our positions, all our units, all our battalions in our kicking game just being average. We need to have something, 1, 2 of these return units, preferably a punt return or a kickoff return or a kickoff coverage, stepping up and being tops in the SEC, being tops in the country. Because we know that area, that alone can win you a couple games. And so that's been our focus coming into the summer, and it will be coming into fall camp. So.
Coach, I noticed Gerard Barnes is listed as a sophomore. He just played 1 game last year. Is a red shirt just going for him?
You know, that's something I don't know. I couldn't address that right now. I don't know. I'd have to look at that and see.
Can you go over a little bit the kind of schedule you guys have for fall camp?
Yeah. We have a big weigh-in on Thursday. It's a big to-do. We make it a lot of fun, these guys, and you know, it's a report date. Friday we'll scale back just a little bit and get into Saturday be our first scrimmage. And usually what I try to do is scrimmage on Saturdays, but you know, try to go as much live as we can early in camp. Once we get out of the acclimatization period, go live, you know, tackling, you know, getting a lot of good work in right there. We'll do a lot of one-on-ones. You'll see us in Razorback drill quite a bit. You know, we got to develop some toughness. Toughness and a relentless pursuit to the ball is what we're about. And we'll come out of our last practice. I think it's on the the 18th, somewhere in there. Don't hold me that. Whatever that Saturday is, I think it's the 18th. It'll be our last big scrimmage. It'll be obviously it's when we have our good on goods, and it's still, that's our last big one there, 2 weeks out for the most part. We'll have a former player reception barbecue, bring their families out. They'll get a chance to come out and watch practice. We'll have a barbecue, and coaching staff will intermingle with our former players. School starts on the 20th, and we'll have another scrimmage on that Wednesday. And then we do what we call a Beanie Bowl. It's a week out prior to the game, a dress rehearsal for the game. We'll invite the students out, fans out. But, you know, it's all about creating depth. It's all about finding our best 11 and making it work on both sides of the ball and create depth behind it. So.
Chad, how do you coach your kickoff return men on the new fair catch rule? What do you tell them? And then who are some of the candidates there at kickoff return and punt return?
Yeah, well, you know, again, I'm not going to really get too much in depth with the scheme part of it, because I think that everybody's trying to figure out what are they going to do and what are they going to do. I know this, that you know, now with being able to fair catch it, you better put some sure-handed guys back there that can catch. If you're going to call for the fair catch, you better be able to catch it and get the ball on the 25. And so, yeah, we've got that. That's kind of the way we've looked at it. We've got an idea of the way some people are going to play it, but I really don't want to dive too deep into some schemes how we're going to do it.
What about candidates at those positions?
Yeah, I mean, guys that can catch. I mean, obviously some of these, you'd hope put some of these receivers back there you can count on. But you know, again, the question in turn comes in. You know, you got, say, a Jonathan Nance back there, or Davion Warren, or whoever's back there, and you know, it's a pooch kick back there. Do you instruct them to take off and go, or do you instruct them to fair catch it and get on the 25? So again, that's the scheme part of this whole thing. So.
As far as your philosophy, like how physical do you want to be in camp? Because obviously you want to be healthy going into the season.
Well, I think there's a time you have to pick and choose. I thought spring ball we were extremely physical. We did a lot of live, a lot of on the ground, getting on the ground, tackling, good on good. I think there's a time and place for that in fall camp. I think it's early on. We have to. I mean, we have to. You know, the only way to teach tackling is you got to tackle, and we've got to be able to be smart about it. And that's why when we schedule our practices, we're you know, I understand that. Look, when we get to 2 weeks out, we need to start kind of backing off. But we're not about saving legs right now. It's all about straining these guys as much as we can for the next week and a half, 10 days.
So a couple things. The jersey change, the tweaks, did you have any role in that? What do you think of the new jerseys? And second, Mike Wood's reaction from the arrest and what he's done since then.
Yeah, you know, from the jerseys, you know, I guess I'm an old school guy. I kind of like the look, without a doubt. Love the helmets. That was some of the when I got here, getting with our equipment staff, and I believe they had, you know, when you put these jersey orders in, they go a year and a half out type of thing. So they just informed me of what it was going to look like. But we did talk about the helmets, kind of going back to the kind of the pearl look, which I like. And then, you know, talking about, you know, future jerseys. We've already talked about that. So I'm really kind of an old school guy when it comes to that. But I also know that, you know, these guys are, you know, what we're recruiting against, and the excitement level that they have when they see these new uniforms. So.
And then on Mike too.
Yeah, you know, I'm probably not going to talk much about Mike Woods outside of where we are, where we stand with him. You know, very disappointed as he is. Actions of a few impact many, and his action impacted many people. And so we're still gathering our information, and he understands that for every action and for every decision, you know, how I said, there's a consequence. It has to be good and bad, and so he understands that.
You can't talk specifics on guys, but the recruiting success you're having right now, and just the job that you and your staff are doing, the events you're having, and stuff like that to get these guys to get on board.
Well, it's all about getting them on campus. That's it. You know, when you get them on campus, we've got a great product to sell. I mean, my goodness, you know, from all the things that are happening around our campus right now, and the updates, and, you know, the renovations, the town. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and so we got a lot to sell. Now we got to continue to build and put a product on the field that'll add to that, and we will. But our staff is doing a fabulous job. I'm really proud of these guys. Everybody's hitting the ground running with that, and they understand if we can just get them on campus, we got a chance, and be who we are, and sell what we're about, and why that the University of Arkansas fits them. And you know, getting guys on campus, you feel like sometimes you realize, okay, that was great. I'm glad I got him on campus. He doesn't fit what we're about, so let's move another direction. And so that's all about the functions that we have, and man, I've just been very pleased with the direction we're at. I know there's areas we have to build on, and I've talked a little bit about how I feel like you have to build a football team and sustain success, and it's in that offensive defensive line first, foremost, and then speed.
What have you thought of Froholt at center, and is there anything barring injuries where you could foresee him being a starter there at some point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever the best five is, whatever your best five combination is, and then you make it work. He got some reps in at center last spring, did some good things. Actually was very, very, very well received there. Very smart, just a great leader. Do I anticipate that he could be a guy there at center? I think if we had a situation that he had to play at that center position, whether through injury or whatever, I mean, without a doubt, I believe he could do that.
Do you include Colton Jackson and Kevin Richardson in the 105, or will they be, I guess, in the 105?
Well, we've yet in the 110 now.
Right, all 110.
Yeah. We haven't quite narrowed our 110 down with Kevin just now getting his surgery. We may be more or less apt to. He can still be there. He just can't be in part of meetings and go through all the rehab that he's going to need to be focused on more than anything. So we may let him be a part of just the rehab part of it. Colton, on the other hand, from a learning standpoint, we need him in there in that offensive line. We may make him a part of the 110. Or we may not make both of them. We just quite hadn't narrowed it all down just yet. But they'll both be here through rehab. That's their number one priority right now, is the rehabbing.
You know, your running back room is pretty deep as is, and you had a guy like Rakeem Boyd. So what intrigues you, or what intrigues you about him?
Experience, just his size. He's physical. He's a guy that's played at this level, and I just think that he's got an opportunity to bring some of that veteran feel into that room with these guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you all.
Guys, all right.